I previously did a video on doing a DSfW and an eDirectory health check, and I have a script that talked about in there that helps do that. I've updated that script so that it will provide more information. You can go to this location here and click on the DSfW health check, and again this will do both eDirectory and DSfW if you click on that. So you can click on that, download it, or you can do a wget and get this information. So this is just the path. If you do wget and then the script name, in this case it's you can see the name NDSD DSfW health check 2-5. So do it, we'll download it, and actually I already have it downloaded, so let's go ahead and look at it. NDSD underscore DSfW. A few things have changed in here. So I've got some settings to go over. So there's, if you want to email this, when it's finished, send you an email no matter what it does. Go ahead and set that to 1. Otherwise, keep that at 0. If you want it to email you if there's an error in the log, go ahead and set that to 1. So this will, only if there's an error will it email you the output of what has transpired with the log or the health check. If you'd like to enable a schema synchronization, you can enable that. So you can select 1, and this will do. Hopefully, gives you enough time. Most trees, it should give you enough time. I increased the time frame for which the trace starts and then it runs and before it stops, and checking for the schema synchronization. So if it doesn't, there are suggestions on just running the command manually and checking it again, because if you have a large tree, it can take some time. If you'd like to run a local repair, and you see it's NDS repair-R, it's not recommended to always be running a repair on a server, but if you would like to do that, you can set that to 1. It'll run a repair and give you an output if there are some errors with that. Just give you a little bit of that information as far as the last error it encountered, or at least the total number of errors. If you'd like to run this NDS repair-P and see the partitions, you can do that as well. And it will just give you an output of the last the last 5 partitions, and you can see, and it will also print a total number of partitions if you'd like to do that. If you'd like to do a search for unknown objects, there's that option as well, and we can see that for most people an anonymous bind will work, but if you need to be prompted to you need to have a legitimate bind if your proxy user doesn't have rights or you've disabled anonymous bind. Go ahead and set this to 0 and this to 1, and it will go ahead and run a LDAP search looking for unknown objects. So these are a few options we've added. Email to, who would you like us to email? I just have my name in there by default as an example. You can put a comma or a space as a separator. Either one will work. So if you have multiple email addresses to send to. So there's reset the log. So it creates this health check log, and on a DSfW server it creates it in that XAD log directory. So var opt novel XAD log, and it'll create a health check log there. If you like, every time to keep that log, set that to 0. If and it'll just keep it pending to that log. If you'd like to reset it each time, set it to 1. So just an option there. And if you want it to log to the syslog, this is an option I've had in other scripts as well. So just all it's going to do is put a message that it started it and that it was running. So those are some of the key configurations for this script. There's also something to be aware of. If you have more than 5 partitions, and you'd like to display those, just in this enter a line before the Q and press enter, or type enter. If you have 11 or more, then you need to put a second enter. So it'll only display 5 at a time. So if you want to get that 6th one, you need to put an enter in there. That's if you want it to display all of the partitions in the -p output. That's an option for you. Otherwise, it's just going to display 5 and give you the total number of partitions. It'll read, because that is in the log, the number of partitions on the server. So if that's something that you're looking for, that option is there. These are some recommendations I've received. I've received a few recommendations from some customers and implemented most of them, it looks like. So if you, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run this as well. Something else it does is give you some, let's go ahead and save it actually with those other options enabled. So make sure when you go to run a script, you chmod +x the script so that it can run on DSfW. And I would also recommend doing the DOS to Unix. It should be in a Unix format, but just in case something happens, if you open it up in WordPad on a Windows box, run the DOS to Unix to remove those CR for the end of the carriage returns and things like that that get added for Windows boxes. So now if we just go ahead and run it, NDSD, the DSfW health check script, so something it's going to do, prompt us for a password. I also will point out a couple things I've changed at the bottom. So we need to get a ticket. That's grabbing a Kerberos ticket. As you can see, it's going to put this in the log file. So you've got some information about the server, the kernel version, if it's Open Enterprise Server, the Open Enterprise Server, the patches that it's at, the E directory binary version, the display version, and your actually location in your tree where the server is located. So it gives a little bit more information for you. It will append or send the log file as well. So there's the health check log and the dsrepair.log. So here it just went and started the NDS trace with doing the schema at this point, *ss. So saying schema is not in sync gave us some errors. So we'll check the var log messages or the NDS trace screen for that. But again, sometimes it can be misleading. So that's why I have that as an option. And I never really, I've had it in there, I've removed it, and because sometimes it's been more of a question mark as far as if it's valid or not. So here's something, if we look at the decrypt integrity check there, so this has been kind of confusing to people. So this, I've color coded it a little bit, just letting you know that if it's less than 10 times, then it's not going to show up. If this is the number of times it occurs in your KDC log. So if it's 11 times or 10 to 99 times, it's going to show up as yellow or kind of a goldish color it's looking here, so that you can just letting you know this is a warning and something that you really should be looking into. In this case, this is a bad password error that we're seeing. So for bad password for administrator. It could be a problem. It might just be a legitimate, putting in the bad password every so often, but you could be a sign that somebody's trying to hack as the administrator account. Or if you see a workstation, as it says $, a workstation, could show that is a bad password as well. So that could be a problem with the workstation. You might need to rejoin it to your domain. This is giving you a heads up on this information. So again, it's this yellow goldish look, giving you a warning. In this case, we've got it, if it's over 100 more, in case this time here we've got 2,300 times. This is not good. We've got, as you can see, it's got this $sign here. That means it is a workstation that is trying to log in, but the account is not there. That means the actual object has been deleted from the tree or from the domain. Either that, or it cannot find its object. Maybe it is there and it's not able to search it. Maybe you have some health issues with your tree. So this is letting us know we definitely have a problem here with this XP Pro 1 workstation, and we have the IP address of that workstation. So if we're getting these client not found errors, a good thing something that you could do to prevent it from well, if you cannot track down that workstation, something you could do is put in your filter or in your firewall filter, or enable the firewall on the DSfW server, and by default the firewall should have the ports necessary for DSfW to operate. You could just put in a block for this IP address if you cannot track it down. But it best is to track it down the workstation and fix it appropriately, join it to the domain. So this are a few things that have been added. Hope this has been helpful to you. I'm got another one for just a plain eDirectory server. This script can be ran on an eDirectory or a DSfW server, and it will adjust as necessary. It doesn't do all of the DSfW things, as we can see here. It's just letting us know, for DSfW that this is DSfW specific as well. It won't do that. It'll skip it. It'll do what is necessary. So I'll do another video on that. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope this script is helpful. Again, if you have any suggestions, feel free to email me. It's in the top of the script, my email address, or leave some feedback on the video. Thanks for watching.